Man, this past 9th anniversary for FGO has probably been the most controversial anniversary ever. So if you saw my latest live stream reacting to the FGO 9th anniversary news, then you probably already know that I wasn't really that happy with the addition of the new append skills, the 4th and 5th new append skills. And clearly, so was the vast majority of players in the community. And it's not because the skills themselves were bad or useless or didn't have a place in the game, because like myself and many other people have pointed out, the 5th append skill specifically helps a lot of different servants like Arkwid, for example. Thanks to the new 5th append skill, Arkwid is now able to double coin Skya Black Grail loop with Oberon, which again previously she was not able to do, but now with the 5th append skill, she no longer has to rely on Ibuki or a Mystic Code in order to lower her cooldowns. Now she just needs that new append skill. The skills themselves are useful. They're great on certain servants. They even fix certain servants, like again with Arkwid. The real issue was the fact that Lasengle added these append skills but didn't do anything with the servant coin system itself, specifically how we can only acquire them through Gacha, with the exception of course welfares and buying their coins off the shop, and how many coins it takes to unlock these append skills and how many coins it takes to level up a servant past 100. It's excessive. It's a lot. Previously, if you wanted to go all out with a 5-star servant and unlock all their append skills and level them up all the way to 120, you needed at least 6 copies of that servant, as well as max bonding them to not bond 10, I mean max bonding to bond 15, which obviously takes a lot of time and potentially money to get those copies. With 2 new appends added in, now instead of 6 copies minimum with max bond, you now need 8 copies and max bond in order to unlock all appends and level 120. And that's not even taking into account the possibility of future append skills that may be added into the games. And that's just with 5 stars. Don't even get me started with 4 stars. 4 stars, holy crap, you need a lot of copies. This is very excessive, not only for the average, casual player, but even for whales, even for people who know life this game like myself. This is a lot. Like, that's a lot of copies if we want to be a perfectionist with a character and take them all the way. It's a lot. And if it wasn't obvious, this is even a bigger problem, because what if you already used up your coins? Because obviously you had no idea they were gonna release 2 new append skills, so maybe you already used up the coins for all 3 append skills, maybe used it for Holy Grail casting, and now, again, with the case with Arkwid, the 5th append skill is perfect for her. But what if you use all of her coins already on the other append skills that are not as useful for her as the 5th? Now you have to roll for another copy in order to get that 5th append skill, even though it wasn't your fault that you just did not know that they were going to release that. It sucks. Basically, by adding these new appends and not really improving or changing the servant coin system or adding some kind of new feature in that would make servant coins more accessible, like, I don't know, maybe a universal coin available in the Mana Prism shop or Rare Prism shop or even event shops, the devs made a lot of players feel like these new append skills are just yet another cheap tactic or ploy in order to get the fan base, who's already pretty damn loyal and invested into this game, to spend even more money. And like I said in the past, Aniplex in the end of the day, and Lasengle by extension, they're a company. They're a business, so of course they want to maximize profits, but this is not the way to do so. You guys are already making a lot of good money. So adding these new features in that nobody quite frankly wanted, or at least nobody wanted for the price that it takes to get, is not the right way to go about things if you want to maximize profits. Scorning the fan base and scorning the community and screwing all of us isn't the right way to go about it. And when I say the community was angry, I'm not just talking about the English community, because in the past, that's usually the case where the English community is really pissed about something because, we just like to complain about every single little thing. And in contrast to the Japanese community, they might, complain here and there, but not as vehemently as us English Western fans. But for once, the Japanese fans were arguably more vocal, more outspoken than us English fans. And obviously seeing people bitch and moan on Twitter or Reddit isn't really exactly anything new. I even saw several FGO artists, not fan artists necessarily, but artists that were hired at some point by Lasengle and Aniplex to, I don't know, design a Krat Essence or design a servant. I even saw those artists expressing their opinions about the append skill and the servant coin system as well. I wouldn't even be surprised if some voice actors and actresses also expressed their opinion. I haven't seen it personally, but the fact that FGO artists in general were expressing dissatisfaction it's very possible that even voice actors and actresses that played the game feel the same way. So quite literally, everybody had something to say about the servant coin system. From English players to Japanese players to FGO players to people who worked for FGO at some point. We all had something to say about this. And you know what? I don't know about you guys, but I was pleasantly surprised earlier today because the devs, they actually addressed everything and they actually listened, not even 24 hours after everything went down. If you go to the official FGO news page and website, there's an entire post by Kano Yoshiki himself basically apologizing on behalf of the devs, on behalf of Aniplex, in regards to the Append skill Backlash. And the devs even promised that they will be addressing these issues in the future. Specifically, they said that there will be a future update in which we could switch between append skills, kind of like with the command codes. We could switch between them and equip which one we want at any given point in time, which, to be honest, that is a great place to start. That is great news to hear. Obviously, at least at the moment of recording this and before the update is actually out, this still means we need NP8 and max bond in order to unlock every append skill, but just being able to switch between them helps a lot. Again, going back to Arkwid, now instead of using her third append skill, you could just take those coins back and implement them into the fifth append skill and you're good to go. You don't even have to pull another copy, you could just switch between the two. So honestly, great place to start, great update to look forward to in the future. And in addition to promising these updates in the future, it will also be compensating possible coins that you may have used in Holy Grail casting. So obviously it takes 2,000 coins in total in order to trade for a grail in the shop. Like I said earlier, none of us really knew that they were gonna implement new append skills, so a lot of players, I feel like, used those extra coins in order to Holy Grail cast, which obviously in hindsight wasn't that great of an idea because now we need more coins. But thankfully the devs said, no, you guys will get those coins back at some point. We are sorry. We see why this is an issue. So again, great place to start. And they're even compensating us by giving us back our coins that we may have used in the past. And as a cherry on top, like, this is how I found out about the news. They even gave every player an extra 120 quartz. So I don't know about you guys, but in the end of the day, Lasengle, Aniplex, the devs, they made a mistake. And to their credit, they acknowledged it. They addressed it within 24 hours. And correct me if I'm wrong, this is probably the first time the fans have expressed such backlash and negative opinions about a certain feature, and they quickly addressed it right away. This is not a performance issue type thing where like maybe your phone can't handle the latest FGO update, or maybe maintenance was over but then it got extended, and then, you know, stuff like that. You know, that happens all the time, unfortunately. This feels like the first time, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, the first time that there is a feature in the game, a new system in the game, or a new mechanic in the game that fans, quite frankly, were not happy with. And as a result of that backlash and those negative fan feedback, the devs actually acknowledged it and promised to fix it in the future, as well as compensating players not only with coins but extra quartz to go on top of it, which of course I'm not complaining about. So for me at least, and again, let me know in the comments down below how you feel about all this, but to me, this is a great sign, and this restores my faith in Aniplex and the devs. The fact that they have acknowledged everything and will be properly addressing them in the future. Obviously, this is just one issue out of many in-game issues that they could probably tackle as well. But the whole servant coin thing for about 2, almost 3 years has always been something that I felt strongly about, and a lot of people always felt like it should be overhauled and fixed, at least lower the cost of coins required to unlock append skills, for example. Like, there are still issues with the servant coin system as a whole, and still issues with the game as a whole. But given what we got as compensation, and given the fact that they promised to make it so we could switch between append skills, honestly, great news, and I'm very happy about it. Like, I'm not gonna lie, 9th anniversary felt very lackluster, not necessarily because of Space Arishigal, or not necessarily because of all the other stuff that were announced. These new append skills, and by extension the servant coin system not being updated, really soured my experience with 9th anniversary. I'm sure you guys noticed that in my live stream if you saw my reactions. And like I said multiple times throughout the video, a lot of people felt the same way. So for now, this is all good enough for me. I accept their apology, and I look forward to future updates with the servant coin system. A great big step for us FGO players, and an even bigger step for the devs for acknowledging everybody. But let's not pretend there's only a problem in the dev side of things and the Aniplex FGO side of things. A lot of people were very disappointed by the new Append skills, but there were also a fraction of people that I saw online, specifically on Twitter. This is why Twitter is known as the cesspool of the internet for a lot of people. There were a lot of fans, I'm gonna use fans in quotations. There were a lot of fans that took it a step too far. There were people that I saw that were being very, not only just disrespectful, but outright threatening the devs, outright threatening Kano Yoshiki, for example. And that's where I can't agree, you know? I can't agree with that. Obviously, we may share the same opinion as far as, yeah, the server coin system is not good. The new Append skills were not something we asked for, you know, so on and so forth. But to threaten the devs, to threaten Kano Yoshiki, to threaten people in general over FGO, I just cannot agree with that. I cannot agree with that sentiment at all. Nor can I understand the mindset of resorting to violence because you're not happy about a video game or about a mobile game or a gacha game. It just does not make sense to me. And I know some people might be thinking, well, maybe the devs saw these violent threats and that's what got them to address these issues. And obviously there's no real way of knowing unless you're the devs themselves. But I'd like to think that these fans were a very small minority of people, and I would hope that nobody in the dev team saw these threats, these insults, these disrespectful comments. And as far as expressing your opinion, whether it's negative or positive or neutral, whatever, that's okay. That's as far as it should go. Just express your opinion and move on. But when people take it a step too far, that's when those individuals should probably take a step back. If they feel that strongly because of a game, they should probably take a step back, maybe even quit the game and go get help. Like seriously, like you shouldn't get this angry about it to the point of threatening violence. It just makes no sense. And while I'd like to think that these people are just, you know, empty-headed trolls that are all talk and don't really intend on doing anything, nowadays you can't be too sure, right? Time and time again, we always see these things manifest into actual physical events, into actual physical tragedies, and hopefully nothing comes out of this. Hopefully it's just all trolls online who just want to get a quick little laugh in because they got a sick sense of humor, you know. Hopefully it's just that. But even then, you know, words hurt, you know. So some people are a lot more sensitive, some comments are a lot more insensitive, and to my knowledge this has really only happened one other big time in regards to FGO, with the artists of Parvati and Boudica and Nezha. If I remember correctly, years back when Parvati was first released, her designer was actually threatened vehemently on all social media platforms because a lot of people were not fans of Parvati's art. And while to my knowledge nothing ever really came out of those threats and those comments, the artists felt so strongly about it that they actually closed all their social media. To my knowledge, they haven't really posted much since then. And it's really sad to see that somebody who was just doing their job got so much negative feedback and so many threats and so many unnecessary comments shot towards them that they decided to basically erase their entire existence on social media. And honestly, that's probably not a bad idea to avoid social media, because obviously social media could get very toxic really fast. And I hope they're doing okay, but the reason I bring this up is, bottom line, we shouldn't take it that far. You know, obviously it's affected people in the past, it's affected people in worse ways, not just quitting social media, but, you know, some people actually get hurt or maybe even lose their lives over stuff like this. So hopefully the devs didn't see these comments. Hopefully the people making these comments are just all talk and nothing comes out of them. And as a whole, hopefully this is all behind us. Hopefully this whole servant coin controversy is just all behind us. And once these updates are out, everyone, or at least most people, will be satisfied, and then we could all just move on. Because this is a problem that should have been addressed before, but at the same time, this is also a problem that isn't that serious, and we should just move on once it's addressed in game and just enjoy the game like we all used to, you know? And I really hate stuff like this. I really hate stuff that really dampers the whole anniversary, the whole celebration, because there were a lot of great things that were announced, you know, not just talking about, you know, Space Erishgal or Summer Erishgal, which a lot of people were waiting for, but obviously the release of the Fate Stay Night Remastered is coming out in a couple of days. The announcement of Hollow Ataraxia also getting a remastered, which is very exciting for me. And then Extra Record is also slated to be released next year. You know, there's a lot of great news. Obviously, in the FGO side of things, a lot of people were dissatisfied, a lot of people were disappointed. But Fate as a whole, as a Fate fan as a whole, as a Type Moon fan, I'm very excited for the future. And it's just a shame that this one little thing in the grand scheme of things affected not only myself but a lot of people. All I could really hope is that, again, we move past this and we just look forward into the future. I don't mean to get super philosophical, but a lot of people took it a step too far. So let's just be civil, guys. We're all in the same community. Let's just chill the fuck out. Like the video if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it. And again, comment down below. Let me know what you think about this whole little debacle, this whole serving coin controversy, the backlash as a result of the 2 new Append skills, the way the devs are addressing it and compensating us players, as well just the general news of 9th anniversary. What do you think about the 9th anniversary servant? What do you think about the new summer servants that are coming very soon? And what do you think about all the new Fate content or all the remastered Fate content that we're getting in the future as well? Are you excited? Are you not excited? Are you satisfied? Are you dissatisfied? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below. And subscribe to me, the main character, because without you guys, I'd be the only character. And I'm not trying to be the only character in this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Alright, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.